Welcome back, or welcome for the very first time to Worms and Warriors. We are back here with Grand Tactician The Civil War. It's our Confederate campaign. We're heading into episode 7. We've had a fairly successful campaign so far. We've had a few battles, won some, lost one. It's gone okay. We've been kicked out of Missouri, which was a little bit of a headache for me. We've got an army sitting down here at 24,000 men. However, we are building up forces to counter that. We're going to have 24,900 soon enough, and we will try our hand at pushing back into Missouri. However, it is getting late in the year. It's September the 22nd, so the campaign season is coming to an end. It's not over, but it is coming to an end. Obviously, we can fight through the winter, but it does make life difficult, particularly out here in the Trans-Mississippi, where infrastructure is not quite as developed as, say, in the Eastern Theater. There's fewer railroads, roads, everything. It's much more difficult. However, to start this episode off, I want to have a little look at our economy, at kind of what's going on behind the scenes. Before I do so though, if you are new here, why not hit that subscribe button, follow the series along, check out the other series. I've already done quite a few on this game. We also have other games on here, so it's not just like a one-trick pony, although I am working through this series right now, which I'm thoroughly enjoying. New episodes come out every Monday, so if you're into this kind of thing, hit subscribe, follow us along. Come and say hello on the Discord channel. We've got a friendly little community there, and check it all out. In terms of the overall things here, we're still evenly matched. Their national morale's at 65, which is pretty poor, but I mean, Union morale does tank a little at the start of this game until they start getting the upper hand in manpower and stuff, and can then push back against us. So some recent events here: the Battle of Manassas Junction, which I think I called that Red Hill Farm or something, because that was next to where we fought. It was a nice little victory that. We beat Patterson again for the second time. We captured Alexandria, the city in Virginia. Kentucky seceded in the last episode. That was a big deal after we captured Louisville. But yeah, it's been pretty good actually so far. So if you have missed it, check out the playlist, go back and watch the previous episodes and take it from there. Menfield is still quite close. You've got 108,000. We've got 92,000. Navy tonnage, I mean, we're miles behind. I haven't actually built anything in the Navy, so we will have a little look at that today. Casualty-wise, we've taken 15,800. The Union has taken 22,000. European relations, we're on 40. I mean, we're never realistically going to get to the point where we're going to have intervention. I've never managed it yet, and to be honest, I'm not really even going to try. The military, obviously this is just our overview. Fleets, I want to build a few ships, so we'll come back to that in a moment. We haven't got much money. That being said, let's look at the finances. So we're doing okay. Actually, we have more available than the Union apparently, but it's not really. All my funding's pretty low except for the military. I'm going to ram this up a little bit as well, so we're going to take a hit on the economy. But we are in expansion. Our wealth is mediocre. It's not terrible. Unemployment's at 4.6%. Our credit rating's A-. It could definitely be worse. Yeah, so it could definitely be worse. Our tariffs are set at 30%. Our sales tax is 5%. We've got no income tax going, no corporate tax. Must be nice. The military funding we're doing is 7.05 million, which is it's quite a bit, but not enough really. Diplomacy low. Again, this is all really low. I've basically taken things really easy in terms of funding. I've tried to keep our finances in the good, and it's kind of working. We'll come back to this finance screen in a moment. Policies, we've almost finished Industrialization 1, which I hope will help us with production and things like that, and we can fund it a bit more. But we'll see what happens with this. I'm not really sure what the actual effect in game is. It's not really all that clear. Maybe somebody can enlighten me. So once this is finished, we're going to work on Military 2, and from that we're going to go straight into Conscription, which will extend everybody's contracts to 3 years. So a bit of a downer for those guys who thought they were going home in a few months, but you know, that's where we're going to be going. Military 2 and Conscription. That takes us nicely onto the projects. We've got this is what the finances fund, okay, these projects, as well as some industrial things, which we're going to have a look at in a moment. Funding, let's say Austrian Rifles here. This is funded with the diplomacy money, and if you recall, we were funding diplomacy with not a lot, low. So we funded this a total of $455,000, and we need $2.5 million to unlock Australian rifles. British rifles we would need to fund with $5 million. So again, it's going to take a long time to get there. I had a little discussion with one of our followers on the channel talking about the order I placed for the legacy rifles that we unlocked. So I ordered 25,000 Mississippi rifles. You have to excuse my voice, I've got a bit of a sore throat going on. But anyway, we ordered 25,000 Mississippi rifles and 10,000 plains rifles. Now, he thought that the plains rifles were a waste of money kind of thing, which I know what he's saying. They are a bit crap, but we don't have access to very much at the moment. In terms of ordering weapons, the only thing we have access to is, in fact, the Mississippi rifle and the plains rifle. So, I mean, you've kind of got to make do with what you've got. The Mississippi rifle is a lot better, but spreading the order across two different things, so 10,000 plains rifles coming, you can see we haven't hardly got any of those. I already gave some out, and they come kind of bit by bit. The plains rifle, it's okay. It's got a 400-yard range. It doesn't have a bayonet, which sucks a little bit, and rate of fire is 2.5 per minute. So, I mean, it's a lot similar to the Springfield rifle musket, which we can't order. So the idea was to order Springfield rifle muskets. Well, yeah, if I could, I would order the Springfield rifle, but we can't order them, so it's not produced. The Mississippi rifle is a preferable weapon to the plains rifle. Even it's cheaper, even, which maybe because we're standardized 5. Okay, so standardization changes the price. So the more your units are equipped with a certain weapon, the more the standardization goes up. So the plains rifle is still expensive because not that many of our troops have that. The Mississippi rifle is a little cheaper because we've got a little bit of standardization. So the Mississippi rifle, on the whole, is pretty good. It fires a 0.58-inch caliber bullet, mini ball. Has a range of 500 yards, which is excellent, and fires 2.5 rounds a minute. So they are slightly slower than the more modern Springfield rifle musket, but it has a longer range, which is a decent trade-off, I would say. The 500 yards from the Mississippi rifle definitely comes in handy when you're in engagements. So that's all we can really buy at the moment. We can have Mississippi rifles and plains rifles, and that is literally it. Artillery, we can order 12-pound howitzers and 24-pound howitzers, both of which I have on order, but both of which we hardly have any of. So weapons is pretty limited until you start unlocking these things, and as you can see from the funding, that's going to take a while. Everything is pretty much empty here. We just unlocked legacy rifles, which is why we've got no funding. Springfield rifles, you see, we can't unlock that, even though it's here. Even when it's fully funded with 750,000, we can't unlock that. It won't let us do it because I haven't selected the correct or the adequate starting policy for that, so that's why. Next things, we're going to work on the organisation reform, I think, simply because we need to start having real armies in the field rather than these corps that are dotting around. So once we unlock that, we'll be able to have like an overall army and then separate corps that can move around. So we can put Lee in charge of, say, the Army of Northern Virginia, and then have his corps, and we'll have them marching around, and they can come together to fight and stuff. It becomes a lot more efficient once you get there. So that's the next thing we're going with the projects. We'll be going down that route. Possibly getting some carbines for the cavalry. I'm not sure yet. We'll see where it takes us. But we are very, very low on weapons. So the armies are poorly equipped, especially in the West and the Trans-Mississippi. Let's have a look at this Western army here. The Army of Tennessee. Grim Wolf muskets. Mixed muskets for these guys. Mixed muskets again. Mixed cavalry weapons. Mixed cavalry weapons. We've got nothing to give these guys. 12-pound howitzers. 12-pound Napoleons, which we started with. 12-pounder field gun and a 12-pound howitzer, so that it's poorly armed. Mixed muskets, and mixed muskets. More mixed muskets, and more mixed muskets. So this is the Pressburger Foot Hussars. They're going to go into Anderson's division here. That's a viewer unit. Talking of viewer units, I also just added one I missed out. The Carolina Caroleans. Caroleans? Is that how we say it? I guess so, I don't know. The commander you wanted, Forsberg, is not in game, unfortunately. I've searched for him. He is not showing up. I have given you this dude here. He's also from South Carolina, same as this brigade. He's got excellent stats. John P. Thomas Sr. Judging by your colours, I'm assuming that you're Swedish and you've picked a Swede. But I couldn't find anybody with a Swedish name or anything like that in here to give you as commander. This guy, I thought, kind of looks Swedish. I don't know why exactly, but he sort of looks like he could be. He's got good stats. He's got a nice little write-up here. He's been busy. I think he's a good commander, but if you want somebody else, just let me know. Forsberg, like I say, is unfortunately not available. Yeah. Nobody with that name I couldn't find anybody with a similar name or anything like that, so you've got this guy. Let me know if you want someone else, but I'm sure he'll do a good job. Yeah, so we left off the last episode. These guys are routing, as we can see by the flashing of the federal flags there. So they're going to pull up towards Washington. Got some supply alerts in the east, but that's okay. I've left North Carolina pretty much unrecruited. I mean, I've recruited a couple from there, I think, but not loads. Let's just have a quick look. So North Carolina, I've left 10,000 recruits in there. So that's simply because I kind of wanted to make North Carolina into an industrial center. So I kept the workforce in place. This is the workforce is highlighted here. So we've got a decent chunk of workforce just west of Charlotte, around Fayetteville, and around Greensboro and Raleigh. Greensboro, sorry, and Raleigh, and even here Danville, like kind of in the southern part of Virginia. So I'm going to have a look at this. If we look at federal buildings, we don't really need to add anything. Hospital, we've got a little bit of priority for, but we have got a couple of hospitals. Markets, we could do probably another one, but I'm not going to bother with a market. News agency, we don't need. Prison camp, we just built. So that's all good on the federal buildings front. But if we look at the company application, so we do need some stuff here. We need farms. They cost a fortune if you don't use the subsidies from the finances. So, for example, to fund a farm costs $2.5 million with subsidies, or you can buy one, and it'll cost you $12 million, which is a lot of money. Same with the foundries. Again, I mean, it'll cost you $2.5 million to fund, or you can build one for $12 million. So we're not going to do that. We're going to let the funding build up and then build them. Factories and mills is what we really need. So can you see we've got high priority need for those factories. We need to fund that at $4.5 million, or again we can build one, but it costs us $22 million. The mill cost us $7.9 million. That's on top of the subsidy as well, by the way. Or we can fund it at $1.6 million. So we can build these things with the subsidies, which is where we're going to go. So I think we're going to keep North Carolina relatively free of recruiting. I mean, I might recruit an extra brigade from there or something, but I want to keep the workforce in place there because they've got good workforce. I know it's controversial, but they also have good slavery centers here, so they also help with workforce distribution. So they work in the mills and stuff. South Carolina equally still has a decent workforce, even though we have recruited quite a lot. There's not much available around here, around the Charleston area, on the coast and that. But a bit further inland, we could definitely build something here. And Tennessee equally has an excellent workforce. However, Tennessee is quite near the front, and I'm a little bit wary of building too much stuff here. So for now, we're doing nothing with this. I'm just literally just talking through it, basically. But that's the plan. We're going to build a little bit of industry in the Carolinas, maybe a little bit in Tennessee once we have some funding. So with that in mind, let's add some more money into industry funding. And I'm going to take this up so we get into medium. Okay, so we're going to fund... I want 2.5 exactly, but we've got 2.51. That'll do. The military funding, I'm going to up this to about... I'm going to up this to $8.5 million. Diplomacy funding, I'm going to up this to, when it goes to medium, again, $2.5 million. Agriculture, we're going to fund a little bit as well, not loads. I mean, I know this is going to probably make us issue bonds again, but I'm not bothered. We need this. We can't keep up with the union at all otherwise. I know eventually we will be left behind by the union's industrial capacity and manpower, so we need to kind of try and get the advantage where possible. The plan is still holding the defensive line in the east. We're being a little bit aggressive in here in the Western Theatre. We've taken Kentucky, which is awesome, of course. The Union does still control swathes of Kentucky, which is not great. We've built a little force here under Bragg. Bragg, like he's not as bad a commander as you think in game anyway. Say what you like about him in real life, but in game he is okay. He's got initiative 1, leadership 1, which is pretty crap, but administration of 3 means that he's good at putting these guys together and training them up and keeping them together. Now these guys are all from Kentucky, except for Bragg, of course. They are all from Kentucky. I think the commanders are even all from Kentucky. Oh no, he's from Virginia. I thought I'd given... Or maybe I just recruited the troops from there. I thought I had given the commanders from Kentucky. Oh, Breckenridge, he's from Kentucky. Crittenden. Yeah, he's from Kentucky. So, okay, so the division commanders are fine. So it's a small force, 5,000 men. It kind of meant that I can keep these guys here and move off with the Army of Tennessee, which moved down to here, this kind of northwestern part of Tennessee, and we constructed a supply depot to make sure we can operate in this area, so we have a bit of supply going on. So that's where we're at. I'm going to start pressing play now. The game's going to start. Let's do it. So the main idea is, once Van Dorn has these guys in here, so we've got Stan Watty and his Indians, Native American troops coming in here, another cavalry unit. So he has got a substantial cavalry force here, 3,500 men. We've got Bowen, McIntosh, and Stan Watty with his native troops. Stephen is also moving in here. I mean, but the problem is that most of these guys are, again, poorly armed. Got some viewer units as well. Lots of mixed muskets in here. A few rifle muskets and stuff, but not loads. So we're waiting for those troops to come in, and we're going to hopefully kick Lion's butt down here. That's kind of the next way I want to go. In terms of ship building for the fleet, I'm going to build a couple of ships. I don't want too many. So I'm going to build 2 brigs. 2 brigs. CSS Georgia, CSS Huntsville. And let's build a couple of little ships. Little ships for the river. We can't build any ironclads yet either, which somebody else has suggested. Build a couple of ironclads. Well, yeah, I would like to, but we don't have the capacity to do that just yet. Quite expensive. So we've got a couple of brigs coming, a couple of double enders. Double enders are decent river and seagoing ships. Large, 8 guns. Decent caliber guns as well, if I remember right. I can't remember how you look at that. The brigs should come in handy for our little raiding squadron, which we've got out onto the trade nodes somewhere. Wherever the heck they are. Let's just find the fleet. James River Squadron. We've got New Orleans Squadron up here as well, which is fairly powerful. The Gulf Raiding Squadron. It's down here. Now, we're blockading these trade nodes. I don't know if that actually does anything. Got a perk for them. Torpedoes. Spar torpedoes are bombs placed on the end of a long pole, which is attached to a boat. The torpedo is placed. Ramming efficiency up by 25%. Well, it's not really a ramming fleet. Motorboats. Bombardment efficiency plus 5%. I don't think we need that either. Supplies. No. Balloons. Blockading squadron. Sea Raider. That sounds more like it. Sea raiding, or sometimes privateering, targets merchant shipping, capturing them as prizes. It also hits marine insurance rates, allowing blockading trade notes. Import prices plus 10%, level up by blockading trade notes. But are these our trade notes, or are they theirs? I don't know. Like, it's not clear. It's not clear if these are our trade notes. They must be ours. These must be theirs, surely. Why has Mexico got the Confederate battle ensign? I don't know, but I'm gonna move this fleet around. I'm gonna put them up here to blockade these trade nodes. I don't know if that'll do anything. Or do we need to blockade these ones? If anybody knows how this works, do let me know. It would be nice to have the inside scoop on that. Anyway, let's get on with the game. So this battle's just kind of finishing off and they're going to be pulling back. Oh, 17,000 men. 5,500. They're waiting on recruits arriving, I think. We should have burned this depot down. Well, I'll tell you what, I don't really want to fight up here. I don't want to fight in Western Virginia near Grafton. They're welcome to have that back. We're going to pull Magruder's Western Virginia division back here to Stanton. And we'll build a supply depot over here, I think. We did have one up here near Winchester, but I think that's like, it kind of makes... It means there's going to be a lot of fighting around Winchester, and I think if we put the depot down here, it makes a little bit more sense, that kind of lower end of the valley. Or was it the upper end? I can't remember. I think you call this the upper end of the valley. we've got 2 days and 5 days. So in 5 days' time, we're going to push the Trans-Mississippi Army up into into southwest Missouri. I'll get there in the end. We also want to take offensive action here with the Army of Tennessee. Once we've got them up to the 17,000 men, waiting on a few guys arriving. We will push up and we will see if we can engage the Union around Cairo. And then that should hopefully see out the year, I think, in terms of fighting. Unless the Union does something else. The AI's been pretty good so far this time around, I must say. Pulling out here nicely. Not that I want to shirk a fight, but I think it would be a tough fight up here around Grafton. We don't need that just now. Alright, so, yeah, we have sent them running. This little Hampton division under Pendleton, I'm just kind of... There's not much to these. We're waiting on troops arriving as well. They're kind of like a last-ditch reserve, to be honest. I had moved them up here to engage in combat, but it didn't really happen. Nice to see Alexandria stayed in our control. Yeah, so Magruder's boys are pulling out of there, and I'm fine with that. Just speeding things up a little bit, letting them move along. Oh, and I've just seen Van Dorn's got a new perk available. He does already have Flying Column, which I gave them because I thought was handy out here in the Trans-Mississippi. So, copying the French invention, it's possible to break free from heavy logistical chain. That would suit Van Dorn quite nicely, I think. Its simplicity is to carry more rations and less clothing and tents to allow longer and faster marches. Movement speeds up by 10%, and the maximum supplies is plus 50%. So faster movement speed and carrying extra supplies is really handy out here in this region. Now for the second one, I'm going to give them the ambulance corps. I love having the ambulance corps because it brings wounded soldiers back quicker and the mortality rate of wounded soldiers goes down. So let's do that. They're already carrying 657 disabled soldiers. I mean, they're sick, but still. We've got one man deserted. One guy. Well, so time's moved on a little bit. Just have a look at weapons. Have we got anything else come through yet? We've got 1,000 Mississippi rifles. However, I don't think any of these units are small enough to warrant with 1,000. They've already 1,027. I bet we haven't got enough. No, must have just under. I guess it doesn't give us an exact number what we have, but you know. All right. I was quite content just to give them Grafton back, really. Oh, what's going on? Colonel Barksdale, who suffered severe wounds in battle, has recovered and is back to fight. Nice. I can't remember who Barksdale was in command of. Jones's battery, still armed with those 6-pound field guns. Let's give them something better. Sadly, we've got nothing really good to give them. Let's give them 24-pound howitzers. You know what, let's give them 12-pound howitzers. I'm keeping those 24-pounders ready for if we need to siege someone. Just a quick word that if you still want a unit in game, that can be arranged. Just let me know. Interesting that we do control some territory up here in the north. Is it Illinois or something? A little bit patchy on my geography, but I think it's Illinois, this place, is it? Vernon? Or Indiana. I should have known that. Ohio, Indiana, and then it's Illinois next to that, isn't that right? I think that's Illinois here. Oh yeah, it was Chicago, of course. So we do control a little bit of territory in Indiana, which is nice. Quite a lot of manufactories up here. Indianapolis is a big hub of stuff. Maybe once Bragg's up to force, up to strength, we could send them up here to maybe do a bit of raiding or a bit of destroying. Once we've got the core system, we'll be able to have cavalry that we send up into the north here. Controlling Kentucky, I mean, not that we strictly control it all, but like kind of it being ours, so to say, is definitely helpful. Yeah, so we do have some options available to us, but this is the main one that I want to exploit. I want to hopefully send that army of the west scuttling back to the north. They've got no supplies either, which is making me feel pretty good about it, since we've got excellent supplies because we built a depot right here, ready for these operations. They've been sat down here for a while. I don't know why they haven't built a depot. Usually the AI would just build a depot, but maybe he hasn't because there's one just here, but he hasn't quite got the strength to push down and take it. Maybe that's what it is. I have withdrawn the New Orleans squadron down towards Fort Pillow. It's just going to act as like an extra little buffer there. Our new ships are being constructed. We do have CSS Fulton and AB Seeger ready to go out to some fleets, but I mean, where am I going to put them? Our fleets are so small, it doesn't really seem much point in doing that. Well, the Gulf Raiding Squadron, let's send out the CSS Fulton to join them, and then those two brigs will also join that raiding squadron. I mean, it's no longer the Gulf Raiding Squadron, I suppose. It's on its way around Florida, up to the other trade nodes. I don't know if it makes any difference. I don't even know if it's effective at all. We'll see, I suppose. Let's move time on. The Carolina Carolians? Carolina Carolians? I don't know. I'm not sure how I'm going to say that one, but I suppose one day I'll get there already anyway, and they are going to move out to their command, and they are going to go and join. Let's get them off into Joe Johnston's force. I'm going to just put them in here like this, and we're going to arrange an extra division, because there's only 2 infantry divisions, and I'd like to have 3. It's going to take me a couple of days to get there. Magruder's men are almost back towards Stanton. We're down to BBB plus, and we've just printed bonds. This is because we've increased our subsidy spending. We do have a couple of things available here. Administration reform. Each level of this project will further shorten the time required to activate new policies and acts. Oh. Suppress population. Each level of this project will further reduce enemy support in conquered states and territories. I don't think we need that one, but this might be handy, so it means that our policy will be done a little bit quicker. So let's have a look. It's just 47.5 days at the moment to unlock military 2, which is the next one we're going to be doing. When this is finished almost now. So what was that? 47.5. So I think, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to unlock this actually. Let's see what that does to this. 45.2. Yes, not bad. Shaves a couple of days off. We've got industrialization 1, as we were discussing. Let's just slow this down. And let's get into the policies and let's work on military 2. Van Dorn's men are ready. So it's the 28th of September. We're going to launch our little invasion here. But before we do, let's have a quick check through here, make sure we can't add some better weapons now. It's been a few days. I don't know if we'll have gotten enough. We've got some Mississippi rifles, so we've got 1,200. So we could give that a slack, and then that also gives us 1,000 muskets back into the pool. But let's see who else we've got first. Doesn't seem like anybody else. No. Okay, well, it's either Anderson or Slack. Let's see if we can give it to Anderson. Yeah, let's give the Mississippi Rifles out to him. We've only got 1,600 Springfield muskets. It's not enough to give anybody. No, not even enough for those guys, sadly. Okay, boys, off you go then. Armed as you are. Let's see what Van Dorn can do here. 25,100 men. Only 9 guns, which is a bit of a downer. Oh, and we've got some guns ready, actually. Kind of wish I'd waited now, but it's fine, actually. It's fine. Artillery is a little bit overrated in this theatre. We've almost got Bragg and Albert Sidney Johnson ready with their troops as well. We are maintaining our defensive positions out here. Took this depot we talked about. Lyon is withdrawn. He didn't fancy the fight. Withdrawn to where? So they've slipped away. Do we pursue them up here? I'm not sure. turn the scouting order off. I don't think we need that. Do we push up towards Rolla? Ideally, I'd like to split this and send a small force up towards Rolla. We don't really have any other force in the area. That's disappointing. I was hoping for a battle over here. It didn't happen. Springfield's back under our control, and so is Carthage. Do we go as far as Lebanon? I don't think so. Yes, Lebanon as well. So some much needed farms back in our control as well. That's excellent, obviously. And if you're controlling people, it means you're controlling money. Okay, well that was unexpected. I thought they would stand and fight there, but they didn't. Let's move things along. We've got the Army of Occupation on the march as well. So it's taking forever to do this, even though we've increased funding. Taking a long time to open anything up. Actually 2 Union armies here, so 6,000 men, the Army of Southwest Missouri. Ideally, we need a force here to hold this place while we push up towards St. Louis, but we don't have the manpower at the moment. Even if when this unit comes in here, Pemberton's still only going to have 2,500 men. Buchanan has arrived up here, so let's get him to blockade these trade nodes. I have no idea if that works, or if this makes any difference, or if they're our trade nodes. I really don't know. Maybe these are the Union ones. I genuinely have no idea. The Stanton Depot is ready. Nice to have a bit of supply over in this area. I'm concerned about the weapon quality of this army. I mean, beyond literally one brigade, everyone here has mixed muskets. Can't give these guys Springfield muskets. Okay, so let's do that. So at least 2 now have Springfield muskets, but the rest are all mixed muskets and mixed cavalry weapons. It's not great. It takes a long time to get your muskets coming through. Mississippi rifles and Plains rifles. Alright, well, that being said, it's 6th of October. If we're going to do something, it has to be like around about now. Let's move up towards Columbus, Ohio. Columbus, Kentucky even. And see if they're still at Cairo. If they're still at Cairo, maybe we'll push across. Although it is dangerous. I'm going to push up here towards Rolla. I want to see if we can take Rolla. It's a little risk. It's going to leave us open to Arkansas, but I mean, we can always pull back if we need to. Capturing Rolla would be very handy. It would put us in the middle of the state for the kind of winter break. Looks like he's not at Cairo anymore. That's a little bit alarming, because where is he? Well, let's cross and find out to see if we can take it. Oh, we have come in contact with them. It's taken it into this strange auto battle thing that it sometimes does. The Battle of Cairo, I'm going to play this. Let's get into it. It's going to be a long episode, this one, I figure, but, you know, let's try it. So it is October the 9th. We're on a defensive battle here. Numbers are fairly even. We're fighting in Union territory here, Illinois. So that should be an interesting fight. The first one in Union territory. The Union is starting off up here next to McDaniel's farm or Owen's place or whatever the hell it's called. We've got a decent little area to defend. Our weapons are questionable, which is the main problem we have here, to be honest. The best armed division is Pillow's division with Grimwolf's men. the Tennessee Hog Drivers with muskets, Baton Rouge Boys, mixed muskets, and Daniels Brigade with Springfield Rifles. The rest all mixed musket armed troops. We've got quite a few viewer units in here. I'll go through the units. So we've got cavalry over here under Forrest, Kershaw's Regiment, and the Bayou Bushwhackers. Bayou Bushwhackers being a viewer unit. The Pressburger Foot Hussars, Greenbow Raiders. Both of those guys are viewer units in Anderson's division. We've got the artillery in the centre, 22 guns under Garnett. We've got Scurry with the Cazadores Espanol, viewer unit, of course. The East Tennessee Legion, another viewer unit under Cheatham. The Mississippi Volunteers, which is another viewer unit under Richard Griffith. I hate that name, saying that name anyway, Griffith. It's their first battle. I think it's all these guys' first battle. Yes, it is. So, raw troops are going to battle it out here. Daniels Brigade has fought a battle, apparently. I'm not sure where. Grimwolf's men and the Baton Rouge Boys also. So, that's Pillow's division. Okay, so let's set these guys up. I suspect the Union is going to come around this way, so we will keep a division in reserve. Okay, so taking a quick look at the deployment here, it's pretty simple. We've got Pillow's division on this right flank, built some defences. The centre I've left open because I want to hopefully funnel them down here to come and fight us through there. Griffiths is just off here onto the left of the map. Further back we have the Pressburger Hussars kind of in reserve this way. I've spread the artillery across the front so that our 4 batteries are spread out a little bit. The cavalry's in the centre. They can be deployed wherever they need to go, but there's only like 2 small regiments, so not really much to play around with. The Greenbow Raiders are down here, like as a reserve again, just to deploy wherever we need them. We'll need to wait and see what the Union does here. It's October the 9th, 1861. It's the Battle of Cairo, and it is a light rain with 52 degrees, which is pretty cool, I guess. I'm just going to speed things up here. It's 7 in the morning. We're going to wait for the Union to show up. What we will do is we'll deploy some skirmishers from Grimwolf and Daniels brigades. Let's send them up over the river. Take up a position on this fence. Keep an eye on what's coming. It should hopefully give us an idea of where the Union is moving to or coming from. In an ideal world, I would just like them to try and steamroll over this bridge. I doubt they're going to do that, but you know, you never know. Got these Napoleons quite near the front just in case they do that, so they come get blasted with canister as they're coming over that bridge. At least that's the idea. I'm hoping that this Union force is equipped as poorly as we are, or at least similar, because if not, we're going to be in trouble. If they've got rifle armed troops, it's going to cause us a lot of trouble, because so they're coming around this way straight away. I guess they're going to try and march around onto our flank. I think that's what I would do if I was the Union. Simply to inconvenience us, meaning we have to redeploy. Just moving the guns up a little bit closer. This will kind of give us an idea what they're armed with as well. See if they have muskets or rifles. Looks like they're positioning up here in force. bring across the bayou bushwhackers, not to fight, but to give us the buff for having the cavalry nearby. I'm quite happy to let these come down and try and engage us. If they want to engage us piecemeal, that would be ideal. The 4th Brigade coming down. We can always pull these skirmishers back to give them some fire in the rear and give them something else to think about. Maybe the presence of these 2 skirmisher companies has stopped them coming around the flank, or at least slowed it. Either way, that's okay. Napoleons have opened up on them at range. This kind of bodes well. Maybe they do have muskets. That's good to know. I'm quite happy to just let these slog it out with the skirmishers. I mean, why are they moving? Just fire. All you have to do is fire. You just have to fire, nothing else. Yeah. Okay, so this is not really going to do much. Cavalry coming forward first. Slightly surprising move, because surely these guys are just going to get shot to shit when they're crossing this stream. Grimwell's detachment is fleeing. These guys are just strolling around, I guess. Just fire. So they have dismounted and are like an inch from our troops. And they're firing at us, and we can't fire at them. I'm sending Richard Taylor skirmishers out to hopefully get rid of those guys. It's not a good start of the battle. Okay, that could absolutely have gone better and not much worse. The opening skirmishes is definitely advantage to the Union. They are at least pushing this cavalry back now. They have caused us significant problems. Daniel's brigade has lost 159 men already, mostly in that botched up skirmish up there. I'm putting this cavalry back on their mounts. I want them to go in here, and I want to take out this battery if we can. Yeah, let's not. Oh, Richard Taylor skirmishes all the way up here. What the hell? And the other one's stuck in the water. Come on, get out of there. Honestly, what is this? I told them to get out of there. This game, sometimes it really shits on you. I mean, never mind. Just gonna march it in our guys. No doubt send both forces running. Why is this jerking like that? Just don't do it. Oh. Well, I guess Grimwolf's men held their own in this little bayonet fight. I think that's what it was. Was it Wool their commander? I think he was actually a decent commander in real life. Pressburger Hussars are in the fight. Forrest demoralized? Is he? I had wanted to pull him back there, but it wasn't given the option for withdrawal. I don't know why. Quite a small area for the fight to be going off in. Oh no, Daniel wounded. Ah, they can fall back now. We'll get a fresh brigade up there. Nicely done. 750 casualties for that brigade, but they're still there fighting. 500 for Robertson. He's going to go any second now. That's bad news. But if I withdraw him, he will definitely run, so we might as well not. There he goes. See if we can rally them. I mean, I doubt it. I'm shifting Cheatham's brigade down to here because I know how the AI works. They'll probably walk around and try and capture this objective. This brigade is still here fighting with 900 casualties. There you go, finally broken. We are taking casualties on the artillery front, which is always annoying. We have routed their artillery though, but they'll send another detachment to pick those guns up. Not sure if this is his whole force here. Could well be. Because actually it seems there's nobody down here, so maybe we don't need them there. Sorry, Cheatham. March back up. Here they come again. The 1st Brigade going to try and make a crossing. Looks like the Pressburger foot hussars are going to run off the field. Allen has reformed, which is nice. General Anderson, Colonel Anderson's wounded the division commander. Too damn close to the action. Looks like we're moving up the Cazadores Espanol just in time. I do like it when the Union just throws themselves at our defensive positions, especially when it's our troops' first battle. Here comes Scurry's infantry, the Cazadores Espanol, going to push in here into the fight. Greenbow Raiders doing a nice job, but they are flashing. Let's pull them out and get a fresh unit into this fight. Just going to send out some skirmishers from Scurry's brigade here to see if we can give them artillery guys a bit of a problem. I'm going to throw the East Tennessee Legion over the river. Let's see if we can push them back. And Scurry's boys, let's do it. Richard Taylor's brigade's going to go as well. So is Griffith's. Bit of a counter-attack here. I hope this is not a mistake. Usually my counter-attacks are mistakes. Press forward best as we can. Come on, move. Everything's happening at snail's pace here. Oh, really? Okay, I think I'm going to abort this counter-attack. Let's see what happens here. But it's not looking good. Yeah, I've been shafted. Oh, no. Yeah, this is it. I mean, for God's sake. Blew it. Blew it. Okay. Oof, what a disaster. I should never have done that in the first place. Oh, cheater man, what the hell? I don't understand why Scurry's here. They keep getting stuck in this fort, I think, which is like a problem. Okay, you can come at us again across the river. This is the only way we can possibly do this. I tried to counter-attack and that was an absolute shambles. I don't know why these guns can't fire. Hey, where's he going? He's going to go in front of the... Really? Really? I mean, we're on a major victory here. Surely it's got... should be about it. There they are, they're retreating. Jeez. What a strange, strange battle. Worst thing is as well, I doubt we'll... they were routed by attacking one of them detachments. I mean, fuck. Yeah. Anyway... the Battle of Cairo is all but over. We are in no shape whatsoever to pursue here. Let's just get it to the end and see what we've got. See how it looked. I haven't looked at the numbers yet. I really don't even want to. Definitely not my finest hour in this game, but I mean, it could be worse, I suppose. Alright, so major Confederate victory. 3,000 casualties for us. 4,400 for them, which is pretty bad. But they can replace those guys. Where am I going to get 3,000 new men from? Anyway, there's that. The Battle of Cairo. It was okay. A major victory, it says. I don't really know why it's a major victory. It was fairly even, I would say. The counter-attack was a disaster. Colonel Allen has fallen into disgrace and Brigadier Garnett has become famous and is an inspiration to his men. Alright. Allen, I mean, it's hard to say, but it wasn't great. He didn't cover himself in glory there, especially not getting routed right at the end by a 60-man gun battery detachment, or whatever the hell that was. But anyway, yeah. Glorious victory at Cairo. Army of the Mississippi fleeing in panic. Colonel Allen loses face. 749 enemy killed, 855 captured. We lost 3,100 men, 450 killed, 659 missing, the rest wounded. Captured 2,200 rifles and 8 guns. I'm sure they were all just muskets though, because I didn't really notice any of them armed with anything other than that. Hopefully they were at least Springfield muskets. Yeah, Springfield muskets. We've got 2,500, so at least there's some muskets now to give out. I think that'll do for today's episode. It's been quite a long one, almost like feature length, which is not always what I do on this game. Let me know in the comments what you think I should do here. Do we hold on to Cairo? Do we pull back? If we stay here, we'll probably need to build a depot. Let me know what you think, if you feel like doing so. And yeah, let's take it from there. So we're advancing up into Missouri. We've just had a battle and won in Illinois, which was nice. I mean, much as it wasn't an amazing fight or anything, but it was still, it's good to get a win, however that comes about, I think. Within reason, obviously. I shouldn't have done the counter-attack. I even knew I shouldn't, even as I was doing it, I shouldn't have done it. Especially not since this was a brand new army with green troops. But at least they've all now fought, and, you know, yeah, there's that. We've got a couple of thousand men coming into the Western recruiting depot, so at least we can replace some of those guys who were lost in that fight. Bragg's force is almost ready. We're holding our own in the east. Things are going okay in the Trans-Mississippi. We'll have to see and wait and see if they double down and send more troops over here, because if so, that could be an issue, but if we can take Rolla right in the middle of Missouri, that gives us scope to advance on St. Louis, which will absolutely give them something to think about and a bit of a headache. And by the time we open up conscription, which is about 60 days away total, 34 days left for Military 2 and then 30 days for the Conscription Act, that should give us more troops available as well, and we can bring in drafts for replacements rather than volunteers. Now I think bringing drafts in doesn't hit your support in the region, I don't think anyway, but anyway, that's that. This has been long enough. Thanks very much for watching, if you are still watching, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video, it really helps. Anyway, I'll catch you later. Have a great day, whatever you're doing. Ta-ra for now.